I got this really cute cardigan sweater at TJ Maxx. As you can imagine, it started off being expensive because it's Italian, but once it ended up at TJ Maxx, it was cheaper. But I found that it had a rip in one of the seams. I decided to fix it. I'm going to show you how I did that. And I also found a couple other things. So I want to show you how to fix some things on a sweater, especially if you think you can fix it yourself. So I have a couple of these strands. It's actually, it's not thread. It's actually part of the sweater sticking out. I don't know why. It's up at this cute little collar. And what I'm going to use is something, we'd always called this a knit picker. I don't know what they're called technically. But it's got a tiny little hook on the end that moves, much like a tiny little rug hooker. And I'm going to use it on the underside here. I have to figure out where the spot is and bring in one at a time. And I have to get this into the little hook and bring it through. Oh, there's one. And then I'm going to do the second one. The thing is with these knits, since it's not thread, you don't want to, you really don't want to cut these if you can help it. But it's right at the collar, you know, so I'm a little concerned about pulling it or cutting it. And now that I've looked at it, I think, oh, well, maybe it should be on the other side. I don't know. Or maybe I'll tie it a couple times. You just have to play with these things before you decide what to do. Now, I pulled these through and I'm not really sure that I like how I did it. But the other thing you can do is put them on a tapestry needle and then you can weave them through the actual knit. And I'm going to bring this back through another time, and I'm obviously not going to bring it back through the same place I brought it in because this is kind of an intricate knit. So I just want to make sure it can never be pulled. So I'm going to pull it back through the other side. And sometimes the little hook gets caught. Bring it through. You have to play with it so that the string or thread gets right where you want it and pull it through. So once it's on the underside, like I said, you can take a tapestry needle. Now, a tapestry needle has a wide opening, but the point is not really sharp. I have another needle that looks the same. It's got a wide opening, but it's got a sharp point. And the sharp point you would want to use this kind of needle for, say, a coat, when you're going to sew a button on the coat. But look for a tapestry needle, because then you're not dealing with the point. So you can either, it's kind of tricky to thread these things. I fold the thread or the yarn over the eye of the needle, and then I put a little bit of a loop through. And then what I'm going to do is go in and out of the knit with the needle, the threaded needle, with this strand, and that way I don't have to cut it. Or I'll get it to a certain length and then I'll cut it, because this one was pretty long. And then I'm going to do that with the second one too. And I'm going to thread it. Very carefully. Then I'm going to weave the needle in and out. You can even scrunch the sweater, so to speak, onto the needle, and then pull the needle through with the thread, or the yarn or whatever it is. Now I have these two little pieces sticking out, and I am going to trim them off. So now, instead of just cutting them and risking the sweater unraveling, I've woven them into the sweater. I have another one that I found inside here. It's actually 3 scraggly looking pieces. So rather than try to get these through the needle, I'm going to take one of these, which, alright, there's my dog. If you work at home, then you have a dog. And I'm going to take this needle threader, put it through the needle, doink, put it through the needle, and then it's a lot easier to get these pieces in. Not foolproof, of course, but, and then once they're through the big needle threader, I'll pull them through the needle. Alright, so now, and I decided I want to go this direction. And again, I'm going to weave. This time I actually have a seam here. Can you see the seam? And I'm going to start where this loose yarn is, and I'm going to weave the needle in and out and get it to a certain point that I think is about as long as I need it. Pull it through and then take the needle off and then stretch it a little bit, and voila, it's gone. Now I had a big hole that I didn't want to videotape it because I wasn't sure how it was going to go, but I bought this sweater with this huge hole in it and they gave me a discount because of it. I wasn't able to find yarn the same color and thickness, so I bought some of this, which is used in needle pointing and that, and I found the darkest brown I could. Still wasn't quite a match, but it is hidden. And I took care of the hole. Then there was another piece of yarn that was sticking out here, and I pulled it a little bit to see if it was tight, and it wasn't. And I thought, oh boy, if that isn't taken care of, it's just going to unravel the sweater, and I wasn't sure where it was unraveling. So I did what I just showed you. I threaded the needle, and I took that piece, and I took the needle, so to speak, and I went in and out of this seam with the needle, and then pulled it through, and then used the needle to go through a couple more times, and then I trimmed off just a tiny bit because I don't want that to unravel. So that is a few ways that you can fix problems with a sweater.